Hi, I'm Heidi Rader here in the Alaska Garden. I'm with UAF Cooperative Extension Service and Tanana Chiefs Conference, and I'll be talking all about growing vegetables, flowers, and berries in your garden and farm. Beets are a versatile, tasty, nutritious root vegetable. You can eat both the root and greens of the beet. Beets are delicious, steamed, roasted, pickled, or fermented, and they also store well in a root cellar. In 2018, in descending order, ZEPPO, Boro, ZEPPO, Pablo, Red Ace, Detroit Dark Red, Robin, and Merlin yields were significantly higher than Falcon, Early Blood Turnip, and Let's Greenleaf. ZEPPO is the highest yielding variety at an average of 2.1 pounds per row feet. The higher yielding varieties also had correspondingly high rates in other areas, including plant vigor, bolting sensitivity, and uniformity. The average size of Boro, ZEPPO, and ZEPPO beets, all hybrids, were over 5 ounces in 2018. Falcon, Early Blood Turnip, and Let's Greenleaf were dropped from 2019 trials because they tended to crack and bolt. In 2019 in Fairbanks, in descending order, ZEPPO, ZEPPO, Robin, Red Ace, Boro, and Pablo had the highest yields, and Detroit Dark Red had the lowest. Detroit Dark Red tended to bolt and was not a hybrid variety. ZEPPO, the highest yielding variety, averaged 2.5 pounds per row feet and was the only beet in 2019 to average 5 ounces per beet. The higher yielding varieties also had correspondingly high rates in other areas, including plant vigor, bolting sensitivity, uniformity, and pest and disease resistance. There are lots of other varieties of beets to choose from, and there may be reasons to choose other varieties besides just their yield. Golden beets and Chioggia, red and white striped, offer interesting variety, although in my opinion, a more muted taste than the standard beets. Cylindra grows in a long, symmetrical shape, which may make it a little easier to can, pickle, or cook. In our trials, we have found relatively few pest problems with beets. Voles are probably the biggest one I've seen. Beets will also bolt, particularly some of the heirloom varieties, so don't wait too long to harvest beets when they're ready. And of course, some of the beets will bolt even before the root bulks up into a nice-sized beet. You can plant beets when the soil warms up, well before June 1st. They are quite cold tolerant. In 30-inch wide rows, try planting 3 rows of beets, 1 1/4 inch apart, thin to 2 inches apart. Or you can broadcast the seed and thin appropriately. Be sure to give extra space to those varieties that grow large. What you think of as a beet seed is actually a structure of multiple seeds, so thinning is very important. Do go ahead and eat the small, tender beet greens that you thin though. My favorite recipe to use beets is from Jo Robinson in her book, Eating on the Wild Side. It uses both the beet and the beet greens in a salad. It calls for 2 bunches of beets. First, you steam the beets whole and then chop them when soft. Separately, you saute a 1/4 cup of olive oil, 1/4 cup of chopped onion for a few minutes, then add 2 garlic cloves and the chopped beet greens. Separately, reduce 1/2 cup of balsamic vinegar to about half as much in a saucepan. Finally, to assemble the salad, chop the beets, toss in the greens, garlic, and onion, and add 2/3 cup of goat cheese and the zest of 1 lemon. For more information on growing beets in Alaska, see the links at the bottom of this video.